The islands of the Philippines are in turmoil. The political landscape is fractured, a stark reflection of the nation's divided soul. At the heart of this storm is the impeachment of Vice President Sara Duterte. On February 5, 2025, Duterte, daughter of former President Rodrigo Duterte, was impeached by the House of Representatives. The accusations are grave: an alleged plot to assassinate President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., whispers of corruption and unexplained wealth, and open criticism of the administration's stance on the South China Sea dispute. This impeachment is not merely a legal battle, it is a full-blown political firestorm. It has driven a wedge between two of the most powerful political dynasties in the country, the Dutertes and the Marcoses. This rivalry is not new. It is a tale as old as Philippine politics itself, steeped in a history of ambition, betrayal, and a relentless thirst for power. But this time the stakes are higher than ever. The nation holds its breath as the drama between these families unfolds, the political future of the Philippines hanging precariously in the balance. The impeachment trial is set to begin soon, casting a long shadow over the upcoming midterm elections in May 2025. These elections are crucial. They will determine the composition of the Senate, the very body tasked with the momentous decision of whether to convict or acquit Sara Duterte. The world watches with bated breath, for the verdict will have far-reaching consequences, shaping not only the fate of Sara Duterte but also the trajectory of the Philippines for years to come. The roots of the Duterte-Marcos rift run deep, a tangled web of ambition and shifting alliances. The seeds of discord were sown long ago, germinating in the fertile ground of political expediency. The two families, once allies in the tumultuous arena of Philippine politics, found themselves on opposite sides of a growing chasm. The first cracks appeared early in President Marcos Jr.'s term. Sara Duterte, initially appointed to the seemingly benign position of Secretary of Education, grew increasingly disillusioned. Her dissatisfaction stemmed from what she perceived as a lack of real power and influence within the administration. Then came the whispers of corruption, allegations of misuse of funds, and the veiled threats against the Marcos family, each incident adding fuel to the fire of resentment. The situation escalated rapidly, spiraling into a full-blown political crisis. President Marcos Jr., a shrewd political operator in his own right, saw an opportunity to weaken his most formidable opponent. He unleashed his allies in the House of Representatives, initiating the impeachment proceedings against Sara Duterte. The charges, while serious, were widely seen as politically motivated, a calculated move to eliminate a potential threat to the Marcos dynasty's grip on power. The nation watched in disbelief as the drama unfolded. The once unthinkable had happened. The Dutertes and the Marcoses, two families whose political fortunes had been intertwined for decades, were now locked in a bitter power struggle. The future of the Philippines once again hung precariously in the balance. The May 2025 midterm elections have become a focal point of this political earthquake. The outcome of these elections holds immense significance, impacting not just the fate of Sara Duterte but also the direction of the Philippines. The Senate, with its newfound role as judge and jury in the impeachment trial, is at the epicenter of this political storm. Every senatorial seat is fiercely contested. The Marcos administration is deploying vast resources to secure a favorable outcome. Their goal is clear: a Senate majority that will ensure Sara Duterte's conviction. On the other side, the Dutertes are fighting back with equal ferocity. They are rallying their supporters, appealing to their sense of loyalty and shared history. The campaign rhetoric is reaching fever pitch, a potent mix of accusations and counter-accusations. The political temperature in the Philippines is running dangerously high, fueled by the uncertainty surrounding the elections. The political turmoil in Manila, the nation's capital, is casting a long shadow over Davao City, the Dutertes' traditional stronghold. The city, once a beacon of relative peace and prosperity, is now grappling with the fallout of the Duterte-Marcos rift. Essential government services are being disrupted, infrastructure projects are stalled, and a sense of uncertainty pervades the city's once bustling streets. The situation is particularly dire in the aftermath of a recent typhoon that ravaged the city, causing widespread flooding and damage. Davao City desperately needs a massive 10 billion pesos for flood control and rehabilitation efforts. However, there are growing concerns that these much-needed funds might be withheld or diverted, a casualty of the political vendetta playing out on the national stage. The plight of Davao City is a stark reminder of the real-world consequences of political instability. It highlights the fragility of democratic institutions and the urgent need for a swift and just resolution to the current crisis. The eyes of the nation, and indeed the world, are now on the Philippines. The outcome of this political drama will have profound implications not just for the Dutertes and the Marcoses but for the very soul of Philippine democracy. Will the rule of law prevail, or will the country succumb to the siren song of authoritarianism? Only time will tell. Like, share and subscribe for more updates on this critical issue.